The last has not been heard concerning the crisis in Opu-Nembe in Bayelsa State after gunmen invaded the community. Yesterday on the morning show, Chief Ikoli spoke extensively on the genesis of the invasion and what the community has done in the past to ensure that peace returns. He further stated that the former governor of the state, Timipre Sylva, was part of the problem being encountered in Nembe.
This whole thing that is happening in Opu-Nembe Kingdom is politically motivated. The so-called concerned citizens, or what they call themselves, 20 persons, out of 164 chiefs, 20 chiefs call themselves concerned citizens because they are working for Timipre Sylva. Because they are working for Timipre Sylva. And the police is also working for Timipre Sylva. I can categorically state that.
Okay, joining us now on the morning show for a right of reply on the Nembe crisis is Dr. Ikaonaworio Eferebo Igoma, former regent of Opu-Nembe. He's joined by Stanley Damabide, a lawyer. Good morning, gentlemen, and thank you very much for joining us on the morning show.
Good morning, Dr. Abasi.
Good morning, good morning. Okay,
yeah,
yes.
Good morning.
Yeah, as you must have heard, yesterday we had Chief Ikoli on this program, also with Liboros Oshoma. And two things that they pushed. Chief Ikoli making the point about how Chief Timipre Sylva played an untidy role in the crisis in Nembe because of the involvement of boys, of men who were his fronts. And then, of course, with Liboros Oshoma, there was some conversation about the role of the police. But the police have since come forward with a press statement by the police PRO saying that no, on the contrary, the police in fact arrested 8 persons and went after people causing crisis in Nembe, and that those persons will be arraigned in court, shortly, and that everyone should be assured that the police is not part of the crisis. The police is in fact trying to ensure peace in Opu-Nembe and Basameri communities. So what's your take, gentlemen? Is Sylva guilty as charged? The police, the Nigerian police force, also guilty in any way in this matter? You have the floor. Let's start with you, Dr. Igoma. Hello, Dr. Igoma. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Well, good morning. Good morning. I've heard your story very well, and I captured it. To be frank, the crisis in Opu-Nembe does not involve Chief Timipre Sylva. It is more or less a communal issue. Communal issue in the sense that we, the concerned chiefs and citizens of that Opu-Nembe kingdom, are expressing our views concerning the social responsibility ITO is having with the community. For about 2 years now, there is no light and water in the community. And so as concerned citizens, we try to confront the council chairman, Chief Ikoli, who spoke with you extensively yesterday, and other sundry issues that were bothering the community. And it didn't take us serious. It didn't take us serious. As a former regent of that community, it behoves on me to bring peace. To bring peace. And that has been the role I've been playing ever since I left that seat and we have appointed a king. The point is this. If there are issues, there are time-tested ways of resolving conflict in the community. For example, in 2023, when they were having crisis, about 23 people, adult, well-meaning Nembe citizens were killed. And the community, the then reigning king, King Israel Majesty, King Dr. Areme Waware, deem it fit to call the chiefs, the entire chiefs, and the other well-meaning Nembe people. We spoke extensively and pushed that issue behind us. And I feel that if there are issues, Chief Ikoli would have called the entire Chiefs Council to a meeting and resolve the issue. And he didn't do that. What he does was to look up to the youths, to intimidate people who speak against the abnormality that is taking place in the community. For example, there are no lights, there is no light, no water in the community for up to 2 years. And as a former regent and other concerned, we have to speak the truth. We have to tell him the truth, that what is the reason. Tell us the good reasons why we don't have light and water, when ITO is fully giving us their social responsibilities by providing diesel to provide light and other issues. Unfortunately for Chief Ikoli and his Chief Ikoli-led executive council, they collect the contract, they took the contracts, they took the supply contract without supplying those diesels and other things that they are supposed to supply to the community. We are not after the profit. What we are after is light and water to be available to the common people who could not afford pure water to bathe, who could not afford pure water to drink. That was the genesis of the crisis. To move further, instead of calling the entire community to resolve this matter, Chief Ikoli will now authorize the youth president and his ESCO to maim, beat up, and harass a lot of people. If I could remember, on the 27th of August last year, when I traveled to Nembe, my own community, in my own house, the youth and Chief Debo led the youth with arms to whisk me away from the community. I said, as a former regent and the chief of this community, I can't leave the community. And I told them, I went inside my house, they came in, I said, touch me and let me see you, if you are strong. So I called the military came to my aid and they ran away. With arms. Not one, not two. I identified them and I've made useful statement to the Nigerian police force. And exactly that is what the police is coming to investigate. And if I tell you, it's a Ikoli-led administration and other people just, in fact, they create unprovoked crisis. For example, they could organize youths to attack the community and will now lay blames on other people that other people did. And the reigning king and the council of chiefs convoked a committee to investigate these things. And they have not been able to do anything. They have not been able to do anything. What else will a law-abiding citizen of this country do? We will run to the police and other security agencies to report what is going on in Opu-Nembe. And I am telling you categorically that crisis in Nembe does not affiliate to politics. The concerned chiefs and citizens, there are PDP members, there are APC members, there are Labour Party members, and so on and so forth. Even ABGAP members are there. I can mention some of their names if you want. So it's not about politics. It's just that I'm bemoaned by the situation the state government is handling this issue. I wept in my heart because if there are issues, the government as a constituted authority should convoke the two sides who are hungry, or the two parties who are into contest of certain issues who have alleged, they have alleged. Instead of carrying guns to kill people and intimidate the rest of the people, why did the government didn't call us for a meeting? The government didn't do that. What they did was to support the Chief Ikoli-led administration, because they have promised them that thereafter they will deliver the community to PDP. That is not my concern as a university teacher. As a university lecturer, that's not my problem. I am not into politics. What I am after is the social responsibility ITO is given to the community should be administered freely and let the poor people enjoy what the community, what belongs to the community. That is my concern. Secondly, when I was chairman and regent of that community, I bought 2 boats. Ask them, they will tell you. Did they tell you about that? Ogbodo 1 and 2. I named them after Ogbodo 1 and 2. It's generating a lot of, in fact, there is no more that it will not generate up to 30 to 60 million per month. Am I a party to it? Am I a party to that share? I have done my bit as a leader of the community. Now I am retired. I am now another citizen. What I should do is to speak on behalf of the good people of Nembe Basambri or the Opu-Nembe Kingdom to ensure that whatever they do, we should be peaceful. If we are violent, just for example, the police, because I reported the matter to the police, I wrote to the Inspector General of Police to come to my aid and that of those they have displaced, whom they have ostracized. Through my lawyer, Stanley, he's here with me. And then when the Inspector General sent people to investigate the matter, he saw the truthfulness in the whole story. Look at the number of houses they destroyed. For what reason? For what reason? If there are reasons, why don't you resolve the matter? Why didn't the state government invite us for a meeting that look at what they are alleging? They went and destroyed, even burned down homes. In fact, it's regrettable. It's painful. It's a painful situation I find myself. And so when the police took me to Nembe to come and see whether I am lying or whether other people are lying, so when they saw my house, in fact, I was in tears because I built that house when I was in my 20s, when I left the university. When I left the university, I started working. I have to make small money to build a small house. It's one of the old story building in that place. As a young man then, I built that house. It is destroyed. I don't have one property. I don't have one single property. What do you expect me to do? To fight?
But doctor.
So I wrote to the Inspector General of Police. The Inspector General of Police sent policemen, SWAT and other policemen to investigate the matter. And they have, as they got there, you started firing gun at them. What will make a reasonable leader? If a Chief Ikoli were a reasonable person as he claims, why didn't he stop the action of the youths if they are coming to investigate?
Dr. Igoma,
yes,
let's hear from Stanley Damabide. Stanley Damabide, would like to have your perspective too.
Yeah, thank you,
particularly
Doctor.
with regard to the role of the police, because the police insist that they have been very honest arbiter in this matter, and that they have arrested the people causing problems, and that they will charge them to court very soon.
Well, in one simple sentence, what I would say is that Chief Ikoli's statement is a flagrant misplacement and misjudgment of the facts, given the realities on the ground in Nembe Basambri community. Well, I've been involved in this matter for quite some time now, from the legal axis, and I can tell you that we had gotten to the point of, exasperation, because repeatedly the police have been petitioned about happenings in the community, and we're almost getting really frustrated that they didn't act until they did recently. And you cannot but commend the actions of the police. What we are talking about is devoid of political sentiments and elements. The core issue here is that there is a recurrent brazen display of criminality and criminal acts orchestrated by one figure, the youth president, who, if Chief Ikoli is sincere, will tell you is an hostage of, to all the happenings. And that's the core issue. The questions that we should be asking, based on the realities on ground is, one, are there arms discovered were there arms discovered by the police in the course of their sting operations in the community? Are there reports of extrajudicial killings in that community? Do we have a situation where persons have been barred from entering that community? And this for several years. I can tell you that there's a pending matter in court where a septuagenarian chief was barred from entering the community by the youth president and the core elements surrounding him because they said he's a wizard and is behind certain ailments that the youth president's father is suffering. These are the issues that the police have been repeatedly bombarded with. And thank God, it is better late than never they've acted in the way that they did. It's not about, exuding sentiments that cannot be founded. It's not about saying things that you think will make you score cheap political points. What are the realities on ground? I have here a couple of, the several petitions that we wrote.
Okay.
And these are the things that instigated the actions of the police. Let's leave the police out of it and ask critical questions as to whether there is presence of criminality and criminal conducts in the community, for which no, reasonable law enforcement agency like the police will close its eyes to.
All right.
That is the core issue here, Dr. Abbas.
Thank you, Mr. Damabide. Thank you. All right, let me come back to Chief Igoma, Dr. Igoma. With regards to your statement that Mr. former Governor Timipre Sylva has nothing to do with this. However, some reports state that this conflict in Opu-Nembe can be traced back to the 2019 elections, where anti-APC supporters were chased out of Opu-Nembe, and that has now given rise to conflict in that region. Would you still maintain that it's not rooted, these killings, this conflict is not rooted in in any kind of political motivation? And then on Tuesday, for Mr. Damabide, the governor instituted a 6-man panel to investigate the root cause, immediate cause of these conflicts and killings in Opu-Nembe, 6 months after it occurred in February. Number one is, are you satisfied with the constitution of the panel and the move of the government, even though it's 6 months afterwards? And what would you be looking forward to in terms of the outcome of this this panel? I'll start with you, Chief.
Madam, let me answer your question in plain terms. If you remember the 2019 elections, 2019 election was very peaceful in Nembe. 2019 election was very peaceful in Nembe. If you look at the scorecard of the APC and the PDP, it was very clear that it was a peaceful election. INEC, you can verify it from the INEC handle. If you Google in, you will see the scores of the various parties. And to add further, then I was there as a chief. And so I knew that I voted and other people voted. So what are you insinuating? If Chief Timipre Sylva is a chief of the Opu-Nembe kingdom, he was coronated by the late King King Dr. R.M.Waware, His Majesty, of blessed memory. And I think that if there is anything to talk about, he is a citizen, he is a native of that community. I buried his fathers as the chief of Igoma house. I buried his fathers. So I know it. So if there are issues, ask those people that are feeding you lies what actually happened. Yes, as politicians, they normally fight. We have to, with the Council of Chiefs headed by me, convoke a meeting, involve all the party agents, all the party key players. We held a meeting in the town hall. Everybody was there, and we told them that all the parties will come and campaign. And for sure, Seriaki Dixon, the former governor of this state, will attest to that. He came to Nembe and campaigned without even somebody stoning him, without somebody even throwing a stone at him. Chief Timipre Sylva, who is an indigenous of the community, also came and campaigned. And so it is quite appalling that you are having you are asking me whether Timipre Sylva is involved. Timipre Sylva is not involved. I have said it over and over. What is transpiring in Nembe does not border, in fact, does not cross the borders of politics. It is about the economic power of the community, because Opu-Nembe Basambri is an oil-producing community. We sit on an oil sea. And so every other person, once they are displaced in wherever they are, they run back home to fight for the economic power of the community. Once they secure that, they do utilize that thing for other diabolic purposes. So that is what we are against.
Anti-APC support.
And that is what I've been speaking.
Anti-APC members of the community were not.
Sylva is from that place.
Dr.
That
Igoma.
is his home.
Dr.
Igoma. His father's house. And
Dr.
so why will somebody allege that it's politics? They are just only roping things that are not.
Dr. Igoma, you can hear me, please. Just to confirm.
They don't have correlation.
Just to summarize your point. Anti-APC supporters were not moved out.
I'll go straight to talk on the panel of inquiry that was constituted by government. And let me say quickly that without prejudice to the fact that that is the appropriate thing for any reasonable government to do in the circumstances, I will want to say that, judging from antecedents, the government of Bayelsa State has displayed bias on this issue. They've demonstrated the fact that, they've taken sides. I don't know for whatever reason, but that's the sad reality, because the complaints about the misdeeds and criminal conducts of the youth president and his elements are not, as a matter of fact, to the knowledge of government. They can't claim to not being aware of all this. And the big question is, for all these years that these complaints have been lodged and made, what was the response of government? Nothing. It's only got to the point where the symbol of the authority in that place was attacked and queried by the appropriate law enforcement agency, the police. And that is when they are reacting. And so I will say that in as much as it is good to constitute this panel, a lot of the persons on this other side don't have confidence in it, because we are judging from antecedents, and there is this fear that the panel may have been constituted to achieve targeted purposes that may not reflect or represent justice in the community. These are very troubling issues, and I think that irrespective of what this panel can do, let us allow the police and other security agencies do their job appropriately and dispassionately, and then we'll see what is going to come out. That's just what I want to say with regards to the panel that was constituted by government.
Okay, so a couple of things I'd like to ask. Number one, can you tell us more about this Sam Kojo and tell us his relationship with Timipre Sylva? What also led to the death of 3 persons in Opu-Nembe?
Gentlemen, can I add a word to what the lawyer have said?
Go ahead, sir, but you also have to answer my question, and there's no time, sir. So if you add a word quickly, you will also answer my question, but there's no time. I only have about 3 minutes left for you. So I think it's best you just answer my question first.
Hello? Can I say something?
Can you hear me, sir? Hello, sir? I don't think... Okay, so can you hear me, sir? For the want of time, please, if you can answer my question. I said, who is Sam Kojo? And what is relationship with Mr. Timipre Sylva? And what led to the death of 3 persons in Opu-Nembe? Those are the 2 questions I have for both of you, sir. SARS.
Hello, can I say something?
Go ahead, sir. You have the floor, sir.
Well, to just add a few words to what my learned lawyer have said. Yes, setting a commission of inquiry is not does not bother us. If they give us the opportunity, we will come and speak to the commission. But the point that bothers us is that when we had problems between Ojuma and the Opu-Nembe Basambri kingdom some time ago, when there were issues, the then governor commissioned a commission like this, as we just heard over the radio, and there were several submissions. Where is the white paper? That is the question I'm asking the government. Where is the white paper? You never brought up any white paper. You never did anything. What was the action of the government? So nothing was done. So it's just prejudice to what is happening to. Why don't you allow, like the lawyer said, why don't you allow the police to investigate properly and take the matter to the court and do justice to it? We seek justice. In this case, we seek justice because we have not committed any offense. If we had committed any offense, why didn't they report the matter to the police? The police would have taken appropriate action and the court. So allow the sleeping dogs to lie, please. Please, in the name of God. Okay. Because the state government is biased in this situation. The state government is biased. Okay. Because you have not, when you went to Nembe, did you see us?
Hello, sir.
When you went to Nembe, when the deputy governor, when the sitting deputy governor, the deputy governor of a responsible government that we respect so much, we admire so much, went to Nembe, and after speaking with the police, did you see anybody to speak with? Did you see the various houses they destroyed? That is the sentiment the state government is sharing. Whether they take the community to PDP or not, that is not our concern. Our concern is the destruction of lives and property in the community. What has the government done? What has the state government done? Is it because we have written to Inspector General of Police and his intervention that is bothering you? Are you trying to cover up the crimes of those people that committed the criminality in the community? that killed a lot of people, that shoot police, injured police, destroyed homes? Is that what you are doing? Is that what's supposed to be done by a responsible government?
Okay, we'll go to a quick break. We'll be right back. We'll talk some more. Welcome back. Let's go straight to it. We still have people from Opu-Nembe. But I'm going to ask you my question this morning, and let's just go straight to it. A couple of questions. I said, who is Sam Kojo, and what's his relationship with Timipre Sylva, the APC candidate? Also, the JTF caught some boys at Otakeme heading to Nembe with arms, but they were not paraded by the police. Can you clarify and throw more light on these two questions?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the question. As far as I know, Kojo Sam is a businessman. He's a businessman from Nembe.
What kind of business does he do?
And as a result of that business, I think it's the federal government that awarded that trunk line a security job to Mr. Kojo Sam. And if for any reason, Kojo Sam's relationship with His Excellency is just like me, who is apparently a putative father, ancestral father to Chief Timipre Sylva. And so we share that relationship. In similar manner, Kojo Sam shares that relationship with Chief Timipre Sylva. And if Chief Timipre Sylva was the Minister of Petroleum, and under him a contract was awarded to Kojo Sam, what has that to do with the crisis in Nembe? Does not have any correlationship. And to clarify the point, very clearly, that Kojo Sam, being a businessman, can secure contract anywhere in the world. If he has the pet degree to do the job, he can do it. So that is just the point. Like I said earlier, Chief Timipre Sylva is a Nembe man and is a brother to everybody. So their relationship does not have anything to do with the crisis in Nembe. Chief Timipre Sylva is a peace-loving person. If he were a violent person, I will not be seated here talking to you. Because the problem we are facing is more or less a communal issue. I've said it several times.
Okay.
If people are trying to edge each other out for the economic reasons.
Okay, we have to go at this point because we don't have any more time. Thank you so much for your thoughts on this matter.